Close. Welcome to live chat. I don't want to learn more. Don't want to learn more at all. I know what I'm knowing, I think. I was talking about the live chat. I had a learn more button. Where's the volume all the way up? Down.
Leonard, shut up.
That's not very nice. Oh.
We might as well not even start talking unless somebody shows up.
Yeah. Nobody's showing up.
We're doing this wrong.
How are we supposed to be doing
The
it?
light needs to be behind the camera.
Well, I don't know how to fix that.
Yeah.
How do you fix that? Angie Becker. Hello. Good evening. I guess the lighting is wrong. How do we fix the lighting? We can only have the light bulb in one place.
I could bring the lamp over here and plug it in behind the phone.
What lamp?
A lamp over there on the countertop.
Oh.
I'll try
How's
it.
things where you're at, Angie?
Don't make it worse.
We decided just to come on here and have somebody spend the evening with us, talk a little about gardening. Angie's doing some cooking. Show a little wood stove cooking. Can you hear me all right? I guess that would be the first question.
Oh, maybe this will reach. Let's see.
Will it work? Is the question.
Does that help?
Take the shade off of it.
Oh, hang on, let me turn this one off.
No, that's worse.
bad.
That's
Hold on.
worse.
Hang on.
Good evening, Jordan.
Close the
Good
door.
evening. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for Jordan us.
Yeah. Hey, that's a little better. We can work with that. You gotta use lamps and lights when you
boy.
can.
We have 17 people with us.
Hey, hello everybody.
Why don't you tell these people who we are and what we are in case they've never joined us before?
Well, welcome to the Florence's off-grid journey. The light is. Yeah.
Switch your chair over
It's
here.
been a.
Sorry.
We've started this a long time ago just to show everybody our journey to everyday average people and see if we can live this life and work together.
Actually, we started the channel to document the build of our tiny house for our family.
Yeah.
We never really meant for it to like be anything, but
That's true.
it has somewhat.
And we've got
So we and
An
to elaborate
awesome
on that, we live in a 320 square foot tiny house. We are off grid all except public water. We still have that for now, and we just try to grow our own food. We try to make our own supplies like deodorant and toothpaste and stuff like that. Just basically trying to live more simply and remove toxins from our lives, right?
Yeah, and you go all in with the whole natural clothing and stuff.
Yeah, I wear exclusively natural clothing.
Except for what
Like
you're wearing right
cotton,
now.
linen, wool, that kind of stuff, with the exception of this particular t-shirt, which is from our church, and it is 90% cotton and only 10% polyester. It's my last piece of clothing that has polyester in it still. So anyway, he's not quite there yet, but
No. But it's gardening season. That's the main thing. Gardening season is upon us.
yeah.
We had a nice little package come today. We're sitting in here looking at our Clyde's garden planter, which is great. We love it. If you don't have one, you probably better get one.
Tell him what it is.
tell them what it is. Clyde's Garden Planter. For those of you that don't know what it is, it has two sides. This is, wow, well, you really can't see a whole lot.
And there's a glare.
This is springtime. This one is fall. You figure out what your frost date is. It tells you when to plant stuff, when to not plant stuff, what companion planting is, how deep the rows are, how far apart, etc. Oh, I just seen Doug went live.
Yeah, we're competing with Off Grid with Doug and Stacey right now. We're gonna have to do our lives on a different day.
We're not competing.
Oh yeah, we did send Angie a garden planter last year.
Oh, that's right. Angie
Have
did
you used
get
it?
one.
I don't know. Like I'm just not a. I'm a very organized person. I'm a list maker. I'm that kind of person. But when it comes to planning out, I didn't make that list. When it comes to planning out things like using this garden planner, I'm like, meh, let's just put stuff in the ground however we think it's going to look good. So I just let him handle that part.
Which language? It's in English.
Which language is what? The garden planner in?
I don't know. But it's in English. I don't know if they have other languages in the garden planner.
I don't know if that's even what he's talking about. If that's not what you're talking about, Harry, please elaborate what you need. Do you think the garden planner is more complicated? I think it's just overwhelming to my mind because at this point in my life, I have a lot of stuff going on between working around the homestead here, working my part-time jobs. I sell real estate as well. I've been taking care of my mom who's having some health issues in her aging part of her life, and so I just don't have the mental energy for this right now. So he takes care of that, and I'll just help him put it in the ground.
I'm a planner. And the years are so weird because last year we went, because I wanted to see what the garden planter would do, I went solely by it and what our typical last frost date is. And our weather was just outrageous, and we had a frost 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in, we had stuff up out of the ground and it died.
Oh, you're only 16, Harry? Well, that's cool. I'm glad you decided to join us this evening. Do you have, like, what made you stop on our channel this evening and decide to watch? Do you have aspirations to live this kind of lifestyle, or do you find it interesting? I'm just curious what made you want to stop and chat with us tonight.
But we've got a whole list, great big list. I don't even know how many things are on this list. This is what we grow on a yearly basis.
We've added a few things this year that we didn't try last year, I think. And we removed a few things, like swapped some stuff out that we didn't like.
Yeah. I don't remember what those things are. Oh, pumpkins. We got rid of pumpkins. No more pumpkins.
His parents love gardening. Well, that's good. Gardening is awesome. It's so cool. Like, I grew up with gardening, but even as an adult, I still find it very, I don't know, it's fascinating, and it's just still, it feels new every year when you see this little baby vegetables starting to grow on your plants, and then they just transform into this full-size thing you can eat. I just always find that really cool.
And we had a lot less to get this year too. I mean, this is the only thing we ordered this year. This is it. Out of all of these, out of this whole list, because we do a lot of seed saving.
We're only on 2.5 acres, so you really don't need much land to be able to grow your own food and do things for yourself like that.
Our garden last year was 40 by...
It was 37 by 37.
Yeah, it's 37 by 37 without the raised beds. But you might as well say 40 by 40 if you want to add the raised beds in. That's all the garden we had, and we had an overabundance
of tomatoes for sure.
Well, yeah, definitely an overabundance of tomatoes. Man, they use some good tape. I don't know what Johnny's does with their tape.
You want me to get that for you, big
it's
fella?
Great. It's good tape.
No, we are not siblings. We are actually husband and wife. So, but I could see where, we kind of could look alike. We both have large noses and the same color hair, and we both have green eyes. I've thought that before, that we look like we could be related. But, yep, we have been married for...
We're not related.
4 years as of last September. You're in India and it's 5 in the morning. Wow, that's awesome. That other side of the world stuff is fascinating
Well,
to me as well.
Hello from India.
That's so cool. Thank you for joining us from India.
I don't
That's
know that you
exciting.
could order from Johnny Seeds and get it in India. So I'm sorry if this is something you can't get. But I'm sure you might have a seed supply. Even your growing season. I bet you've got I bet you've got quite a growing season over there.
Yeah, tell us some about India. We know a couple from India that own a restaurant here, and we love, love, love. It's our favorite restaurant. We eat there a lot, and we got to know them so well that I actually sold them a house. And like Indian food is just our favorite. That culture is awesome, but we don't know anything about the actual place, and they go back to visit every once in a while just to visit their family, and they bring back some really cool stuff for the restaurant and whatnot, but they're just so busy, we've never really got a chance to sit out and talk with them and ask them what it's like over there. So if you wouldn't mind to share some things, I'm very interested to know what's the climate over there, what's the geography like. I mean, because when I picture stuff in that region, I just picture a bunch of sand, and I know that's wrong. I know it's more than sand.
So what do we have? What did we order? 50, 60 things? I don't know. We ordered a bunch this year. Much less than what we ordered last year, but when you're talking $300 worth of seeds, this is the kind of box and stuff you get for $300 worth of seeds.
India is not so clean. Oh my. Well, I'm really sorry to hear that. We have areas here where we live, sections that are not so clean either.
Of course, they give you nice little, cards to look at and whatnot. What is this? Oh, turnips. Can't go wrong with turnips.
Turnips are delicious. I love them, and I love beets. We did not do very well on our beets last year, and I missed them very much. Sunflowers.
Oh, these are sunflowers.
I didn't know you ordered
We
sunflowers.
ordered flowers too
Yay.
this year.
I love sunflowers. Those are just strictly to make me happy.
And I ordered some because we have honeybees and we do all of our own.
And the bumblebees love the sunflowers.
We do all of our own beekeeping. I ordered some pollinator seeds, which is
Angie doesn't like beets. Well, my mom doesn't either. She says they taste like dirt. But what are the kind that we get?
yes, that's another
It
thing.
always depends on the type.
I despise the round beets, the traditional.
Like what you buy in the grocery store.
Yeah, the traditional beets you buy in the grocery. I hate those things. They taste like dirt. They're awful. We grow they're Forminovas. Yeah, right here, Forminovas. This is what we grow.
And they're long, like
Yeah,
long and shaped kind
they're
of
like a
this.
stubby carrot.
Yeah.
Is what they look like.
Kind
They're
of shaped like a sweet potato, a small sweet potato.
Yeah, or a small sweet potato, about that long. And they are the sweetest, tastiest
repulsive dirt
beets.
balls. The time here is 8:09 p.m. on Monday.
But they are the nicest beets that I've ever had. And
Yeah, they don't taste like dirt. They have a very nice floral sweetness to them, if that makes any sense.
And we actually did a pink turnip ferment last year, or the year before. Mm-hmm. But it was some beets and some turnips all fermented in the same jar.
I didn't like that as well.
I loved it. It was a wonderful...
Oh, it's already Tuesday. It's tomorrow where Harry's at.
Yeah, this is still Monday.
That's so crazy.
They're repulsive.
So you were watching us in the past.
They were repulsive little dirt blobs. I would have to agree with that for the round traditional beets. I don't like them either. Don't feel bad.
Try the Forminova beets.
Forminovas are great. If you get a chance to try them, you gotta try them.
So let's go through what we have here, because I don't even know. He surprised me with sunflowers. It wasn't on our list, and I didn't think he was gonna buy them again. So we have the strawberry blonde sunflowers, and those are absolutely gorgeous. Are those the one we got last year with the pink?
Yeah,
oh,
we have some shorts.
they're beautiful.
If you go back through our
Harry's
shorts.
from the future. Oh, Harry, you're funny. I like you. You should subscribe so you can come to our next live. What is this? Just says, oh, red sunflowers. Those were pretty too. What the heck is a Lupinus polyphyllus? What is that?
They're lupine. These are a pollinator.
Oh, Harry subscribed. Thank you.
These are a pollinator flower.
Okay.
We're making a pollinator area
A
down next to our beehive.
Blue glitter eryngium. That must be a flower too.
It's a flower. Yeah.
So these are for our, we're making a wildflower patch for our bees. We have summer crisp lettuce. Another thing we're going to do differently this year is instead of planting our lettuce and radishes and all of our salad ingredients in the main garden, is we're going to have a separate set of raised bed boxes just for our salad stuff. So anything that we'll be eating fresh throughout the season and not preserving.
Love pumpkins, Harry.
Yes, they're very
They're
delicious.
great. Love to grow them. Love to eat them. But if you want to grow them to sell them, nobody around here will buy them.
Yeah,
You can't even hardly give them away here.
We have too many stores around here that sell pumpkins, and we could not compete. So we had all these pumpkins that just ended up being
chicken food. Yeah.
But they were fun to grow, and like, I wouldn't mind to try the white ones we did again, and maybe just for fun, see how big we can let one get. More sunflowers. Throwing stuff.
And all these sunflowers we have videos of because I made some last year.
Roma tomatoes.
No, those are Tyrants.
It says Roma tomatoes. Hybrid paste plum and Roma tomatoes. Right here.
Tyrant. This is the name of it.
Oh, okay.
Tyrants. Okay, here's another one for canners. See.
Bye, Harry. Come back sometime.
See you, Harry. Thank you for coming in. If you guys grow or want canning tomatoes, or if you want to make ketchup,
These
or
are
if you
fantastic.
want to make
salsa.
Good night. Well, good morning to you. But thank you for coming in. These Tyrants are awesome. They are, and last year was the first year we grew them, and I just got them off of a whim.
They produce so many fruits, so many.
And they're like a normal tomato. They're very juicy. Like as soon as you cut into a tomato, juice just pours everywhere. I mean, your counter turns into a sink. These tomatoes, these Tyrants, they are nothing but meat.
Yeah.
Very little seed, very little juice. You could cut 50 of them and not have as much mess as one regular tomato.
And when we ferment, the fermenting process breaks down the tomato and like makes it even more juicy. So if we use a normal tomato, then our salsa or whatever just ends up being like soup. But the Tyrants are not like that. We actually still have chunky tomatoes.
Yeah, it's great.
We've got more sunflowers, all kinds. What's a columbine?
Those are pollinator flowers.
Butternut squash, cucumbers, broccoli. Red flame hot peppers. I'm staying away from those.
Those are cayennes.
Swiss chard. That was really good last year. Fried up in some butter.
Peppermint Swiss chard.
Radishes.
Doesn't taste like peppermint.
Spaghetti squash. Beets. Acorn squash.
Yeah, we're going to do acorn squash this
What's
year.
a rutabaga? No, that says a rutabacia. I don't know what that is. Smooth leaf spinach. Bush beans.
This is a flower.
Oh.
It's not a rutabaga, it's a flower.
Okay. Yeah, beans, and then that's the turnips, right? Turnips and other sunflowers.
Turnips and
So,
sunflowers.
but that's not all of what we're growing. That's just stuff we had to buy that we didn't save seeds from last year.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to do better about saving seeds this year, so that we don't have to buy as many next year. But we did better than
And
the
some
than the
of the
previous
seeds,
year.
like the pollinator seeds, that was stuff that we bought because we'd never had any, and we're trying to start a pollinator section, to grow perennial flowers to come back every year.
Yep.
Like your tulips.
But we haven't ordered our potatoes or sweet potatoes yet.
Sweet potato slips have been ordered.
Oh, they have?
Yes.
Okay.
Sweet potato slips have been ordered.
They just haven't been delivered.
Regular seed potatoes I haven't got yet. We have some downstairs that we're going to use still. Sweet potato, the purple sweet potatoes didn't do good last year. The heat's what killed a lot of everybody last year. So we had to order. Last year we didn't order any sweet potato slips because we had plenty, but we had to order some this year. And I went to a company last year and ordered some seed potatoes that were registered seed potatoes, supposed to be good. I can't blame it on the company. I
You paid so much.
I
for
paid a
those
lot of
potatoes.
money for seed potatoes. I did a lot,
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
and we didn't get nothing out of them. Now, was it the year because it was so hot? Was it? It could have been a different multitude of things, but I'm not going to do that again this year. I'm going to go buy me a 50-pound bag of Kennebecs, which we know grows good in this area, and we're going to put them in the ground.
So I need to make your eggs for your breakfast stuff tomorrow. Do you want to bring the camera and show them how we cook on the wood stove?
So some wood stove cooking. You want to see some wood stove cooking?
We got 2 people.
Well, there's only
here.
2 people here, so I guess we'll show you some wood stove cooking. Oh!
I need to get another piece of wood. You talk to them for a minute. I need to get another piece of wood to get the stove going.
Yep, so you gotta go to the porch, get some wood. Can you turn the camera around while you're doing this? Oh, okay. So, stove's hot. She's going after wood. Hopefully you guys can.
We don't want too many pieces because it's awfully warm in here. And we don't want it to be too hot, but
Yeah.
we gotta get it going a little bit. Poor Harry's missing the fun part. Alright.
Dry seasoned wood, everybody.
Nice.
Dry seasoned wood. That's what you gotta have. Don't ever want to go without it.
While I'm doing this, explain a little bit about
Hello, Joe Bart.
how we leave the pans on there all the time, and just the process.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the great thing with the wood stove, like Angie brought up, we just leave the pans on the stove. They're always hot. We don't have to wait for the pans to heat up. So, Joe, if you missed I think we have the same stove, Angie. Huh. This is an Ashley. It's an Ashley stove. Got it from a big box store.
Here's my oil. Here it is.
I don't know where your oil is. You're all over the place.
Okay, so this pan is, well, I rotate my pans.
Yes, Joe, this is our only form of cooking.
Well,
We do have the All-American Sun oven that we cook with in the summertime. We do have a grill outside, but
we have no propane for the grill right now. So currently this is
this is our only. We've got a fire pit out back we can cook on, but in the house, this is all we have. And for those of you that don't know what the inside of our house looks like, we do not have there's laundry room, bathroom. We do not have a regular stove or oven because we live in 320 square foot tiny house. So
I rotate my pans, as I was saying. If you look up here, I've got all of our other pans hanging. For the most part, I leave this large, deep cast iron pan on the stove most of the time. But since I was making eggs, and yesterday, or a couple days ago, I made pancakes, I switched to this shallow pan. And right now, in this Dutch oven, which also stays on the stove all the time, I have 2 butternut squashes in there that are being cooked. And actually, they're ready to come off. So, I'll just set these down here for the moment.
And it's in the summertime, Joe, we cook outside either on the fire pit in the All-American Sun oven or on the grill that we have outside. So we don't light the stove in the summer. It's a catch-all in the summer.
It's not a catch-all. How many eggs do you want in your lunch stuff?
2 or 3. Farm fresh eggs.
Yep, these eggs are from our chickens, some of them from today. We've got a young chicken who's brand new at laying that you can see is laying eggs that are slightly smaller than normal, which is cute, but
We are in the wild and wonderful West Virginia, Joe.
But the great thing about this stove, or cooking on a stove like this, is that, especially if you leave your pans on here, it's just always ready. I love that. And in the summertime, when we shut the stove down for the season and have to cook on the grill, I miss this because, then I gotta heat it up again and, heat up the grill and wait for things to get hot. And this is just always ready to go. So it's very nice.
Joe's from Georgia.
Ooh, Georgia. I've never been there.
Georgia. Let's see.
I have not been very many places.
I've been to Georgia, but one of the guys that I watch on YouTube, I believe is in Georgia because he has Georgia buckets. Oh man.
Buckets.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what his name is. Big YouTube guy. Does a lot of gardening.
Put some Celtic salt on here. We use Celtic salt for a lot of things because it's full of minerals and good for you.
But we do our ferments with Redmond's real salt.
Yes. Sorry, excuse me. Putting the eggs back.
When the hurricane hit, we had to cook an egg on the grill. Best egg I ever had. It's a big difference. Big difference. You get away from all of the industrialized cooking and get back to what we started with. Cooking over a fire or even a stove makes all the difference in the world. And get rid of all of that non-stick nonsense. All that stuff that's leaching chemicals into your food. Get back to cast.
Or stainless steel is fine.
Well, yeah.
You want to stay away from Teflon or aluminum.
Get the Dutch ovens. Get back to the cast.
And people think that cast is hard to take care of, but it really isn't.
Joe said cast iron and butter.
Oh, yeah. We don't have any butter.
Oh, butter. Haha. You guys will get a sneak peek of my new toy. Or, well, I guess it's not a toy. You have seen, this is what I make butter in, if you've seen some of my older videos. That is my great-grandma's butter churn. There's a lot of memories. A lot of love in that. I hear her every time I turn it on. But this right here, or every time I turn it on, every time I use it. This right here, my mom got for me.
Like last week?
Yeah, last week. This is a Daisy butter churn. It's a number 10. And it's cobalt blue glass.
But it's teeny.
But it is very small, yes. I mean, here's the butter churn. I mean, there's one of Angie's copper cup. So you can see this butter churn is very small. Yes, Joe, we make all kinds of videos. We've got butter making videos, cooking in the All-American Sun Oven, toothpaste, deodorant videos, all kinds. Fermenting videos. We show how we live off-grid.
Oh, our pooping in buckets.
Yeah, poop in buckets, yeah. All the firewood production. I have videos on that.
Non-stick surface. Those eggs did not stick at all with this glorious pan. Yeah.
It's a glorious
I
pan.
love this pan. Well, I love all my pans. And he don't like his eggs too done, so I can't leave them on there very long.
Angie said I bought a new Daisy and I'm returning it. The lid is so flimsy.
Oh, man.
Well, be honest, Daisy, I don't believe the company Daisy is actually in business anymore. I believe Lehman's bought the rights to Daisy.
And check antique stores. You'll find them there. You just got to make sure they're still functional.
Yeah. And another thing, this is a professional tidbit that I'll give you from way back that I learned, okay? You see all these gimmick butter churns at big box stores, or you can buy online, okay? And all of these butter churns that you see are maybe on a jar like this that's round, or, you know, a regular round jar. These older churns were square. Okay, they were square for a reason. They were square because of agitation. And if you get those gimmick ones with the holes in the paddles and the round jars, you're not getting a real butter churn. You're just getting somebody to make money, or making money for somebody.
All right. Perfectly cooked eggs.
What is the main grease or whatever y'all use, like butter, lard, bacon grease? I like to cook with butter whenever I do that, which is very few and far between.
We don't have butter very often, though.
Because we make it.
We either make it or we buy it from his uncle, and it's just like out of the way. We don't buy store butter. But well, here's the food. I just put some leftover seasoned rice in there, and threw his eggs on top, and this will be his lunch for tomorrow, because it's kind of what we had for dinner.
But you have
But olive oil is what we primarily use. Extra virgin olive oil that we get locally here.
She's got a little sprayer bottle that sprays it.
And then I also use coconut oil because it's very, very healthy and good saturated fats.
Good saturated fats. All right. I'll put you guys back on the table.
Neither one of those oils, though, have a very high smoke point. So if you're going to be cooking with pretty high heat, you probably want to use butter or ghee or avocado oil, because olive oil and coconut oil will fill your house with smoke. But
Which
yeah,
I made ghee last year.
it is what
too.
it is.
I made ghee last year, and I don't know, did I do a video on that? I don't remember if I did or not. I'll make some this year and I'll make a video. Somebody remind me of that.
Are you hot?
Yes, the door open. It's hot. What kind of animals do you have? She has a dog, a cat, chickens. We recently sold all of our sheep.
Just for now.
Just for now. But we are currently sheepless. But those will be coming back. There'll be a new batch coming in.
Someday.
You're getting ducks though, aren't you?
Probably not till next year. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, yes, but I just don't know when.
Well, we've sold everything but the chickens and her dog and cat. We use tallow, butter, or avocado oil. She's the oil person. She knows about that kind of stuff. I just like butter. Have you ever tried acorn pancakes?
No.
No.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Elaborate on that. I don't understand. I mean, acorns are toxic unless you
You have to
unless you
process them properly.
process them properly.
I'm not even in there.
But that I do know, that acorns are toxic. We do have an acorn tree down the road,
Do we?
down the end of the driveway.
We have a walnut tree too, and I was actually going to finally harvest the walnuts last year, and then it didn't rain all summer long, and so we got no walnuts.
But it was
Just the way it
nice.
goes.
It was nice when it come to mowing, though. You didn't have walnuts to mow over.
Yeah.
So yes, the stove was hot. Got done cooking breakfast for tomorrow morning, because I unfortunately have to go to work. But we're excited about the garden. We're excited about springtime coming, which I hope all of you are also. What kind of gardens do you guys? Oh, Georgia. Lazy Dog Farms.
Oh, that's the guy who talks with that voice I can't stand.
Yeah, you don't like his voice. But Lazy Dog Farm is the one that I watched that's in Georgia, I believe. He's all about his Georgia buckets, like bulldogs or something like that.
You know, I was just looking at our background, and if somebody didn't know we lived in a tiny house, they'd be like, why are they sitting in their kitchen?
That's true. Yeah. Is it bulldogs? I think that's what it is.
Ask the man who lives in Georgia.
Well, maybe it's Joe. Maybe it's a her.
Oh. When you said Joe, I was thinking J-O-E.
No, it's J-O.
Oh, yeah, I see that now. Sorry.
But, I mean, Georgia, you ought to be well into your planting season by now, I'm sure. Because I'm guessing it's probably fairly warm down there on a regular basis.
You can take the shells off the acorns, boil them until you get the tannins out. That's what the brown stuff is when you boil them. That's what makes them taste bitter, and just mush them up and fry them. I have never tried that.
I've never tried that either.
What do they taste like? Nutty, I'm guessing?
I've just always heard people say that they're toxic and not to eat them.
Your dog is escaping. Penny, get back in here.
We'll have to try that. We'll have to try acorn pancakes.
Yeah.
It's like an all natural sweet protein bar.
All right.
I'm not against trying that. I just hate the thought of going out and picking up 500,000 acorns.
You gotta beat the squirrels.
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
We have a lot of squirrels.
We got tons of squirrels around here. If the end of the world ever comes, we don't have to worry about food because we got squirrels and deer galore.
That's a good point.
Super high protein. Huh.
I mean, it feeds the squirrels, so.
Super high protein. I heard some guy talking about pemmican one time too, to
What's
make
that?
that, and that's a good protein source to have that is
Something in my eye.
super shelf stable.
What's
Which I
that?
haven't really got into looking at any of that either. Talking about grinding stuff up, we're actually looking at getting a Nutrimill.
Sorry, there's something in my eye.
We're looking at getting a Nutrimill and grinding our own flour, which we have yet to do yet. So, which we planted wheat a couple years ago, and we planted buckwheat a couple years ago, and I sowed some this spring. So, we'll see if we get anything out of that. But I'm mainly planting stuff out in the field where the sheep used to be, to keep the deer and the coons and everything out of the garden this year. You all right over there?
There's something in my eye, and it's like hurting my contact. Give me a minute.
Your finger, I see it.
No, I think there's an eyelash.
Oh. Another thing is the inner bark of pine trees tastes like Twizzlers.
What? Like any certain type of pines?
The inner bark of pine trees. I mean, we have nothing but white pine up here. We don't have red pine or anything like that here.
Alright, sorry about that. Like, look at this. It's all red now. There was something seriously stabbing me in the eyeball.
I grind my own with an attachment on my KitchenAid mixer. I want to get an actual grinder. We had a KitchenAid mixer that her mom gave us. And I looked at the grinder attachments for that, but everybody kept saying that all the reviews that I read, they kept saying that the KitchenAid gets hot and it'll break the KitchenAid down rather quickly. So we actually gave the KitchenAid mixer away in plans of, purchasing a Nutrimill at some point.
Sounds like Joe is the person that we need to hang out with if we're ever stuck in the woods and need to forage for food.
You kind of just pull back the bark until you get to the white soft parts and just nibble it.
But any certain kind of pine tree?
Yeah, do you have a certain kind of pine tree in your area? Because I know there's different types of pine.
And you can make pine needle tea, but only with certain kinds of pine. So I don't know if the pine trees we have, any kind.
Any kind.
I don't know if I want to be the first one to try it or not. Let's get the neighbor to try it, and if they don't die, we'll try it.
Wow. I mean, I'm game for it. We got pine trees out behind the house.
Yeah.
I'll have to try that. I like Twizzlers. Of course, I like licorice too.
Oh, I hate black licorice. It's disgusting. I mean, maybe hate's too strong of a word. I'm not a fan of black licorice.
You're not a fan?
I would eat it if I had to, but that's... yeah. So... now here's Leonard making an appearance. Sort of.
But that's the plans. Gardening and investing in doing some grains. I am careful when I use it. The Farmer's Storehouse in Tennessee is a great place to get grains. Test all and guarantee no glyphosate or other toxins.
Turn around. Don't show the people your butthole.
Yeah, I was looking on the interwebs at grains, and there is some places I've found, because we don't have anything like that around here other than, well, nobody around here really grows wheat. The farmers that do grow any kind of wheat around here or anything like that, they use it to graze their cattle on once it gets to a certain point. So there's really nowhere to buy wheat around here processed that we would have to outsource it unless we tried to grow our own again, which I grew some a couple years ago, but the donkey ate it all that we had.
Yeah.
And the deer like it for some reason. When the sap messes with the soft bark, ferment into sugar. Huh. Dried and ground up acorn works as a great flour substitute.
Huh. We're learning all kinds of things.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Acorns is not something I've ever had anything to do with. I drove 2.5 hours to their store. That's about like us driving to Lehman's.
Yep.
That's a long ways to drive. And how awful is it that we think of that when, the instant gratification world, we can scroll through, hit buy, and it comes straight to the door.
Well, that still isn't instant. You gotta wait for it to come.
Yeah, but it's less work. Two and a half hours. We haven't drove 2.5 hours anywhere for a long time.
No, sadly.
We're gonna have to do that. We're planning a trip back to Lehman's, which I'm 100% positive Angie's been there.
Angie, yeah, this Angie.
But
Yeah.
Joe, if you have not been to Lehman's and you ever get the chance to go to Kidron, Ohio, and go to the Lehman's store, it is a wonderful place.
For this kind of life.
Yes, for this kind of life.
Wow, 3 states in a day. Well, I guess we could sort of do that too, depending on which direction we took, because we're in West Virginia, and from where we live at our house right now, in about 25 minutes we can be in Ohio. So, yeah. But to drive through 3 states, that takes a while.
I used to be a truck driver, so I can understand driving through 3 states in one day. Yep. I don't miss that lifestyle. Yes, I've been to Georgia, Alabama, Carolinas, Michigan, that other state. Yeah, Michigan. Indiana, Indiana, Missouri. I've been up and down the East Coast.
Hey, he thinks we're brother and sister too. And he's not a full-grown adult. Oh, he deleted that message. Joe is only 13 years old. Apparently.
Angie, I am 10-ish miles from the Tennessee border. Huh. I mean, we can be in Tennessee in 6 hours.
We're gonna have to meet up with her sometime.
Again?
Yeah, and like hang out, talk in person.
I think it's about 6 hours for us to be in Tennessee, because I went to Knoxville for the Rocky Top championship, or the Rocky Top for the kids when they were in football. And I think it was about 6 hours.
I have been to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and that is the only place I have been there. And I barely remember it. It was so long ago.
Gatlinburg.
Yep.
Just trying to think of where we were at down there. What's the big town that's got a Ferris wheel down there? Not Knoxville. Been there. I don't think that was it. Anyway, somewhere there's a big Ferris wheel down there. I was in that town when we went for football. We used to do traveling football when my kids were little. What else are we going to work on? What are you guys working on this year? What's your big plans? What's some of your things that you want to aspire to do this year on your homestead? Or I'm off 75. Knoxville's about an hour and 15 away. Cincy is 3.5 hours. Oh, okay. So we can be in Cincy in about 3 hours. Cincy, Hebron, Kentucky area is about 3 hours for us.
I don't know where anything is. I just go.
You just go. We were getting a late start on the garden.
Joe, I'm sorry about that. I hope she's going to be okay. Is there any way that we can pray for her specifically? Because we'd be happy to do that.
Angie's working with her elderly mom currently.
Well, not right this minute.
No, but
Obviously.
in her life right now.
Okay, I'm glad she's all right. That's good. If there's any way that we can pray, please let us know, and we'll do that for you.
My seedlings are all started and growing. Good deal.
We haven't done that yet.
Well, no, as you've seen tonight, the seeds are still in the package.
They just got here today.
Now we have some that's been here, and I've debated on starting in trays again this year because the past 3 years I've started in trays, and I don't know that it's helped me much. And I'm debating on breaking the norm and going out and just putting it right in the ground and doing it that way this year, starting after Mother's Day, because we learned last year with all that frost and everything, we're gonna wait till after Mother's Day before we start.
She had an organ taken out. If it was an emergency situation, it's probably the appendix, which is the organ that nobody knows what it does. But it's got to do something. I don't know. But I'm glad she's going to be okay, though, and that she's home now. That's awesome.
Lots of rest and recovery. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
I've heard that can be pretty painful when it goes.
Yeah,
when
I
things
think
go
that
bad.
when that happens, you know it. Because it's like a sudden, abrupt pain.
Something else we talked about doing, you're talking about starting seeds. We talked about getting a greenhouse. And we haven't ruled that out. But I think we're just looking at a greenhouse just big enough to a solid structure, not a hoop greenhouse, actual, a one that has structure to it, just a small one to start seeds in, to do to have the germination process and have somewhat of a controlled environment.
So, Joe, you said something about your parents gardening. What types of things do you usually grow that you really enjoy?
Joe is in Georgia. Oh, Georgia. Now, this may be a common thing, which the guy that I watch, the Lazy Dog Farms, that guy, he grows, well, he calls it okra. which is funny. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. We up here call it okra, but nobody here grows that. Nobody.
That we have seen yet.
That we've seen, and I've lived in the Mid Ohio Valley. I've lived in Ohio. Nobody even knows what it is. But I went off of him, and I got some red okra. It was called Carmine, and some dwarf cowhorn okra. And
we
grew
didn't
it
even
last
get to
year.
taste the cowhorn okra.
The cowhorn we didn't, and that may be because of the weather and what we
saved
had to deal
some
with.
for seed, but we never ate any of it.
But the
red okra was so good.
The red Carmine okra, man, it was awesome. It was great. But everybody around here is like, oh, what's that? What's that? But it was great.
The squash you mentioned, Joe. What type of squash do you grow? We grow butternut, spaghetti squash, and yellow crookneck, squash. This year we're adding acorn squash, but my favorite is still the yellow summer squash because it's just so delicious fried up, and I'll cut the thick bases off and hollow it out and stuff it with rice and burger or whatever, and man, it's good.
Well, that butternut squash that you guys seen in that pan in the Dutch oven, that was butternut squash from
he grows
our garden this past year, what we've preserved.
Joe said they also going to put a small garden this year right next to the grill for spices and peppers that they would use.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Our grill don't sit in one spot though.
Yeah, it does most of the time, but it's on the porch.
Yeah, well, you've got all the mint for making teas and stuff in the flower bed in front of the house. So
Yeah.
I don't think you want to plant peppers with mint.
I don't know how that would turn out. They might crossbreed in a funny way.
Yes, cross-pollination. That is something that
happened to us
we had
this
a
year.
very hard
Last
lesson
year.
on this past year. And I never thought this could be possible because I just planted a big plot of pumpkins and spaghetti squash and butternut. I just did one big plot and just planted a whole bunch of them together. And The pumpkins now some people can tell me that this will never happen, it's not possible, but I beg to differ because the pumpkins cross-pollinated with the spaghetti squash,
And they were weird.
we had some spaghetti squash that was just bitter and awful and you couldn't stand to eat it, and we had some spaghetti squash that tasted like pumpkins. And they weren't bad.
It was weird.
They were pretty good, but it was weird. We've never had spaghetti squash do that. I used my Jeep to pull up a tree that was in the area we were putting the garden at.
Did you say you're only 13, Joe?
Still new to driving a manual. Hey, props to you.
Hey, I'm 30,
Master the standard.
I'm 38 and I've still never learned. Not because I don't want to, I just have never had the opportunity.
Master it. You the man. Master it.
Or woman, we don't know.
Or woman. Whatever.
Joe has not said.
Yes.
Yet.
Whatever you're, male or female, master the standard. That's great. I'm going to jump off, get at 5. Oh
yeah, he does
yep,
too.
I gotta get up for work too. But thank you, Angie, for coming in. It was great to hear from you.
Yeah, we're always
Great
glad
to
to
see
have
you.
A tomato and potato plant spliced together.
Well, the cross-pollination wasn't intentional. This was completely bee related.
Yeah, but Joe wants to try it for fun. I don't know how that would work. I'm interested to know.
You too,
if
Angie.
that
Have a
works.
great week. Did you say tomato and what?
Potato.
Potato and tomato.
Joe wants to splice them together.
I don't
You'll
know-
have
I
to
don't
check
know
back
how
in
you
with
would do
us
that.
and let us know what happened.
I don't know how you could graft those two together.
Ketchup and fries.
Okay, now that's funny.
Oh my. You'll have to grow some mustard greens too.
That
next
was
to
funny.
them.
Ketchup and fries.
That is quite creative.
Yeah.
I want to know if it changes the flavor of either one. So check back in with us and let us know if it worked.
I don't even know if that's something you can do. That may have been a joke.
Hey, both plants produce flowers. So they could affect each other's flavor if not anything else. You never know.
It's true. You never know. But yes, master the standard. Absolutely. Go for it. Don't give up. Because once you master the synchronized standard, then you got to learn how to drive an unsynchronized. Top of a tomato plant on.
Would you
Huh.
quit playing with that box? Drive me
Sorry.
nuts.
Box. It's going to be hard. Georgia heat.
Did you have a rough summer last year? It was extremely uncharacteristically hot here in West Virginia last year. During the summer.
Georgia. The guy that I watched that lives down there. Let me look on my list because I have some up here that I grow that he grows down there. Red snappers and roadsters. Tomatoes. Red snappers and roadsters. Those are two that he grows in Georgia that seem to be very prolific for him. So
Heat tolerant.
yeah. I grew some up here last year, of course, with the dry, arid Sahara desert weather that we have. Nothing lived last year very well, so I'm going to try them both again this year if I can get. I've got some. I'm trying to think. I've got some roadster seeds still, but I still need to get some red snapper seeds from him. Which hopefully he'll have some soon. But yes, try those roadsters or red snappers. I know they grow them in the Georgia area.
We need to get some more people in here, man. Of course, it is almost 9 o'clock.
Well, Doug went live too, so. But we love Doug. We'd go watch him too. Cactus one year.
Oh, like a prickly pear cactus?
What's yours?
Prickly pear.
Well, show them your cactus.
I'll go get it. I have never eaten one because I wasn't 100% sure that the kind that I have growing in here is the exact kind that you can eat. And I know our Mexican restaurants here, they have that as a dish, and I've just never tried it. So maybe I will one day, but let me show you my cactus.
Well, you may have to take the phone over there.
I'm bringing the cactus over. It's fine.
You're going to attempt that?
I moved it the other day.
She has 2 cactuses.
Yeah, but this is the one
Or
that...
cacti, whatever you want to call it.
This is my cactus. So I started out with 1 leaf. This, here, back up a second. This portion right here was about this long when it was given to me, and I put it in a pot and it turned into this. And it's still even growing up here, and then I ripped off a couple of these and put them down in the dirt, and now they're growing. So yeah, but lesson learned with this particular cactus, you can't see them very well, and that's why I'm being careful with, like, with my face, but all over these white, I don't know if you can see them, white speckly dots. Yeah, they have itty bitty, teeny tiny, clear thorn type things on them, and I didn't know that when I repotted this thing. And then my hand was full of nearly invisible little prickly spike things. So that was not fun to pick out with tweezers. So if you do grow these, wear gloves when you handle it. Like leather gloves or something.
The actual leaves have the consistency of okra, but the flavor of a cucumber. Huh. I've had them at the Mexican restaurant, but it just wasn't my thing. What's your other one?
You can't eat this one. I don't remember the name of this cactus, but
It was a milk plant.
I don't think it's African milk tree.
African milk tree.
It's an African milk tree. That's what it is. I don't think you can eat this one, but it's just another form of cactus. But at least you can see the thorns on this sucker, all down the side here. His name is Larry. So.
But yes, because of the wood stove, it's hot enough in here. I'm surprised they haven't died.
Well, they like it that way. That's
Yeah.
kind of their thing, you know.
But she is the plant person. She has strings of many things, and I don't know what else she's got. Aloe and
Well, you bought this
all kinds of stuff.
for me. My string of pearls. It's in the succulent cactus family. You can't eat it either. It's toxic. But.
So yes, we have even unedible plants in the house.
But if you wanted to reach out to us on Facebook, our Facebook page is the same name as the channel, Florence's Off-Grid Journey. I'd be happy to mail you a chunk of this cactus if you'd want one.
Will it live that long?
I don't know. I'd have to, I mean, they can go for a long time without water, so I could just pull up, one of those little babies I have in there and wrap the roots in a moist towel or something like that and send it to you, and you can see what happens. I'd be happy to do that, so just let us know.
And where did that came from? Florida, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they bring it up from Florida when they come up?
Yeah. Well, the whole plant, yes, and then they broke me off a sample of it.
So it's been transported here from Florida. What, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, maybe.
So I guess it would go, I'm sure, in the mail.
Yeah, because that'd be only 2 days for priority shipping, but... Yep. We got a second person here with us that hasn't said anything yet. We'd love it if you'd introduce yourself.
So, get off of the paper.
My cat is on the floor tearing up paper.
Well, we're glad everybody came out tonight. We sure are. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I unfortunately have to go to work in the morning. So, I think it's time to go.
It's a shame. Oh. Oh, hi, Lori.
Hi, Lori. How are you?
I'm sorry you're catching us near the end. He has to get ready to go to bed because, he's got a job and everything.
But we covered a lot. We talked about gardening, wood stove cooking. So, if you get a chance, go back and watch it after it gets posted because, they'll take forever to process and post it. But, good night, Joe.
Thank you for joining
Good
us.
night, Lori. Good night, everybody.
We'll try to do lives more often. We keep saying that, but we really will.
It's hard to do.
We just need to pick a day, and we haven't decided which day would be best for that yet, so.
And it's hard to make videos, especially because it's normally just one of us at a time. Thank you for watching it, Lori. We appreciate that. Just being one of us, like when I'm out processing wood, I've normally got a short time period. I got to get out there and get stuff done, and it takes a lot of time to make videos. So.
All right.
All right. Well, good night, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. Good night, Lori. And we'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.